am in the world's worst mood. I drove all the way out to this little spot in the forest to sit and be by myself because I'm genuinely gonna kill someone if I don't. And there's just other cars here and I'm gonna cry. I yelled at the car next to me to fuck off through my car, thinking they won't be able to hear. And he turned his head. Obviously he's gonna fucking hear that, and he's like this old guy. I don't know if you guys can hear, but it is pissing it with rain right now. So I feel like the old people, when it starts raining, they like pull off the roads to wait it out, because it's like kind of hard to drive in heavy rain, I guess, I don't know. And he just pulled up next to me and I just thought, fuck you, like, don't even have a car if you can't drive in rain. It's like a basic fucking requirement. Ugh. So like I said, I'm not the most pleasant person to be around at this given moment in time, but I have a plan to fix it. So, hold on. The back seat is always a good first step. And then I got a meal deal from Tesco's. Sorry if you can hear the rain. It is so fucking loud. Maybe I should mount you guys on my window. Sounds a bit sexual. Hold on. I'm gonna do it. Okay, I'm on my way to Starbucks now because I figured anything else was just ridiculous. And as I drive, first of all, I'm yelling because I'm assuming you can't hear me over the noise of my car. But listen, huh? Do you hear any rattling? Minimal if any, because I fixed my fucking car. You're welcome. And do you know what? I bought this car for 500? Was it 600? It was when cars were really fucking expensive during lockdown, or like right after lockdown. Anyway, £500 or £600, and I have so far spent 800 repairing it, which is ridiculous, I know. But here's the thing, this car makes me happy. And I was thinking, like, I really should just buy a better car, because, like, if someone were to crash into me, like, I'm a good driver and I can't drive fast because this car doesn't move fast. Like, it literally goes up to 40 miles an hour and then it just, like, doesn't go any quicker. So, like, I trust myself, but obviously that's not how the road works. So I was like, maybe I should upgrade. So that if someone else, oh god, you guys, we're in for a bumpy ride, hold on. Wow, do you know what, at some point, I'm actually just gonna refuse to pay road tax, because what the fuck was that? I wish I could show you guys what I just drove through, like 15 fucking potholes. Anyway, what was I saying in the first place? Oh yeah, I was like, maybe I should get a better car, because if someone would crash into me in this, I'm pretty sure it would just crumple with me, like I would also crumple. I wouldn't make it, you know what I mean? Like this is borderline made of plastic. True, but it makes me happy. Like every time I see this car parked up, like outside a shop or wherever I've left it, and I see it and I know I get to get into it, it makes me happy in like the most childlike way. And I don't know why. Like maybe one of my friend's parents had a car that resembled this growing up or something. I really don't know. I think I like this color, like the green color it's in. I like that, and just the shape of it, like it's so old and shit. Growing up, like, I didn't have any rich friends. I feel like that's pretty normal, and everyone's parents drove like old beat up cars, but they weren't old and beat up then. Like they were kind of just the cars that existed, like, you know, like the hatchbacks, like the really long cars. Like everyone's parents had those. And that's kind of what this car is. Like, it's really long. It has, have I ever mentioned how many fucking windows? So many windows. So many big windows, too. It actually has a completely average amount of windows. I just think that they're exceptionally large and exciting. But everyone, like, drove these cars, and I think I just never thought to look up someone driving a really cool, expensive car. And I'll be honest, like, why buy a luxury car? First of all, I can't afford it, so, like, don't think I'm talking about it like I'm considering it, but I love getting into a luxury car that's like an Uber, and it costs me like $20 to be in there for 20 minutes. It's a nice little part of my day. It's a thrill. There's free water in the back seat. Like it's so exciting. Why wear off that novelty by owning one? And then when you own one, you actually have to drive it. And it just, nothing about that excites me. I would rather, it's this car that I want forever, or, you know what I really want? a big red Honda. No, is it Honda or Toyota? It must be a Toyota. I really want a big red Toyota truck. Like in Australia they call them utes. I don't know what they're called here. I don't know, like the ones with the open back and a little truck bit in the front. I will have one of those before I die, unless I die a very untimely death. I swear to God, I will possess one. They are the most exciting things I've ever seen in my life. And you know what? I was looking on Facebook Marketplace and I saw, okay, what's that fucking brand of car that they only have in America? We don't have it here. Starts with a or a Chevrolet. And it was a Chevrolet. You know what? Speaking of a fucking sedan, is it a sedan? What's the car that everybody has in America? And it's like the lesbian car. Anyway, it was a Chevrolet hatchback, no, truck, open back. It was a Chevrolet open back truck. Yeah, on Facebook Marketplace in England for like $4,000, and I nearly bought it. But unfortunately, not only do I not have $4,000 to spare, but there had to have been something like drastically wrong with it, because that car is definitely worth more. Whereas me buying this car for $500, I was like, that at least checks out. Like, it might at least kind of work, because it's really not like visibly worth more. But a Chevrolet truck in England for £4,000, that doesn't sit right with me. No, it doesn't. And you know what? I'm borderline a mechanic at this point, because the amount of fucking money and time I spend at the local garage, and also at my dad's house, asking him what new noise my car is making. I feel like I know everything about cars at this point. One time, my shock absorber was broken, and I walked into a garage knowing how much it was going to cost for them to repair it. I said, my shock absorber's broken, I need a new one. How much? He said, $500. I said, get fucked, it's $250. He said, go somewhere else if you don't like my price. I said, okay, suck my ass. Went down the street, found another garage. He said, my shock absorber's broken. How much for you to fix it? He said, $250 and it'll be done by the morning. I said, I'll suck your ass. And I gave him the money and the job. And he did it. And I felt like a big girl. Hell yeah. I love knowing things. I do love knowing things. And that's another thing that I kind of miss about going to uni. Okay, I'm definitely learning things. Like, at this point in my life, don't be mistaken, like, I'm getting new information input all the time. I'm learning a lot, but now I'm probably learning more than I ever did at uni, I'll be fucking honest, because at uni, it's like I never learned anything. It's like I would read the material, I would understand the material, I would learn it temporarily, and then I would like evacuate that information from my brain. Like, if you genuinely asked me to like reiterate anything that I learned at uni now, I couldn't fucking tell you. And it's weird because I genuinely understood everything at the time. Like, when I was learning it and writing the essays on it, like, I was on my game. Like, I really knew what I was doing or saying. For some reason, it just isn't. It's like I have no retention. So I'm not stupid. Like, I can understand the stuff when it's coming at me. Like, I really do understand, but it just doesn't stay in my fucking head. I don't get it. I'm also lost, I think. I'm in one of these, like, hellscape estates where everything looks the same and I'm not sure what turning I was meant to take. I think I just go straight. I'm trying to find Starbucks. Woohoo! That was a close call. Sorry, sir. I'm actually really bad at giving way. I'm better at it now, but I posted a TikTok like a few days ago where I said that during my like learning days, my driving instructor asked me if I had a learning difficulty because I was so bad at learning to parallel park. And after I posted that, I was like, wait, that wasn't what he fucking said. It was because I could never learn how to give way, which makes me feel even dumber because like parallel parking is like hard, right? Like it's like a commonly struggled with thing. And then everyone in the comments was like, don't worry, I still can't parallel park, blah blah blah. By the way, I'm fucking sick of parallel parking. Like, sick at it. Like, it's concerning how good I am at parallel parking. It's terrifying. Anyway, ooh, I could go to the pet store and throw away money. I might do that. Nope, I'm trying to save. So anyway, it wasn't parallel parking, it was giving way. I used to not be able to stop where I should have stopped, like to pull in if it was like a not my right of way because there was cars parked on the street or whatever. I would fuck that one up every fucking time. I would nearly get into a crash. And so one day he pulled me over and he said, I don't want to offend you. These were his God-given words. I remember like it was yesterday. He said, I don't want to offend you, but do you have any learning difficulties? And I had to say, no, not that I know of. I don't know which would be worse, if I did or if I didn't. But, do you know another story like that? Maybe I do just have learning difficulties, because when I was a kid, I was in the fucking special needs class at school. There's nothing funny about that, but it's funny when you don't have special fucking needs, because I don't. I was mute, and I was so shy, I wouldn't speak to the teachers, and so when it came to, like, reading, like, assignments, or, like, doing fucking anything, everybody thought that I was a dumb bitch who didn't know how to do anything. But really I was just shy, but I would come home and like read books to my mum at like 4 years old and like fucking recite the alphabet and like, I don't know, do whatever the fuck a 6-year-old does. And then one day she comes into the school and I'm like in a room with this girl who I remember so clearly because she threw up on me once and she had a wheelchair. I don't really know what happened to that girl. She was like completely like full-time care, and it was just me and her in this one room, and my mum was like, oh, that's like funny because like why would she need to be in there? And they were like, wow, like she's really struggling. And I even read one of my report cards from reception or year 1, and it was basically stating that I had all these special needs and like special learning assistance and stuff, and it was literally purely because I was painfully fucking shy. And when I got over that, I was one of the most advanced readers in my year. Gifted and talented, bitch. I was never gifted and talented, actually. I had never got quite that far, but I was always way ahead in my reading. It's the only thing I've ever been good at is fucking reading, and everyone can read. It's not even special. Oh! I'm at Starbucks, though. We've made it. I don't know what to get. I have to park. My least favourite part. Oh, God! Right. I'm just gonna fuck that guy over and park way too close. Oh shit. They're young girls. Oh fuck. I hate that. Now I can't fuck you over. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, I've gotta go. Bye. I spent £50 at the pet store. My Costa? What? My Starbucks was £7, which is absurd. Oh, I'm so excited to give her stuff. Almost completely out of petrol, but because I just spent $50 at the pet store, I now refuse to buy petrol. This is how my mind works, right? If I earn, say, £3,000 a month, £1,000 a month, and I buy petrol one day and dog food the next, it's the same amount coming out of my monthly budget. Like, my bank account is gonna look just as bad at the end of the month. But if I spend that money in one day, I just can't really cope with that loss. So I have to split it up, even though it makes absolutely no difference to my financial status. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm faking responsible for my own well-being. You know, there was a time at university, oh my god, okay, I feel like I should talk about university more because, like, we're all at that age, aren't we? Oh, I've gone taken a wrong turn, have I? Oh dear. No, I can't have done. What the hell is making that noise? Is it you guys? Uh-oh, we just got that fixed. Anyways, I'll just talk louder. University. I was so... There is a guy riding my ass. I'm not driving any quicker. My car can't do it. So, university, right? I have never been, nor do I ever wish to be, more poor than I was at university. At one point, so I got student loans, right? Student loans in England are like fucked up. If you have like rich parents, you get like a small loan from the government to like pay for your rent and your food. If you have poor parents, you get a huge loan. The worst case scenario is you have rich but stingy parents who won't help you, and then the government thinks they're rich so doesn't give you any money, and then you're just fucked. Me, I had poor parents, so the government gave me lots and lots of money, and so the most money you can get is like 9,000 a year, which is the amount I had. But like 5,000 of that would go on my rent, and then the rest I would just feed myself. Barely. Do you know what I mean? At one point, my money hadn't come in for like 3 months, because they do these big chunks of time in between each payment. So like, if you're not good at budgeting, you're gonna die. Me personally, I wasn't good at budgeting and I nearly died. And I hadn't eaten, and I couldn't eat because I had no money, and I had an overdraft, like a interest-free overdraft allowance type shit, maxed the fuck out, right? And bear in mind, I was like a bit of a party crazy thing, you know, in my first year of uni, which is why I'd been able to run that fucking money down so quick, because if I wasn't doing that, yeah, I wouldn't have fucking nearly starved to death. Not the point. Anyway, oh my god, that sounds expensive. I literally had no money and no food. I hadn't eaten in so long. All that was in my fridge were these bottles of wine that I'm sure you can't get anymore because of inflation, but they were from Aldi. In 2018, you could get them for £1.50. A bottle of wine for £1.50. You can imagine the contents. They weren't great, but the alcohol percent was like 7. So we were quite thrilled. It was like probably just a shot of vodka mixed with lots of sugar, and then they told people it was wine. I don't know, but it was fucking delicious. And me and my flatmates, we used to drink like 3 bottles a night, and so we were all like violently depressed, right? And whoever would manage to do the food shop that week, none of us could afford food, so we would say to the person who was going, look, just buy me 5 bottles of wine, that's 1 a night for every day of the week, I'll pay you back, sort of thing. Like, that was where we were. I took a wrong fucking turn. Now I'm taking the long way home and I have no petrol. What am I doing? Anyways, really don't want to be going this way. Anyway, so that was how I lived at university. And sometimes I watch Alex Earle. I fucking love her videos, but I just reflect on myself a little too hard when I observe her. And it's kind of like looking into the ugliest mirror on earth, because, you know, sometimes I don't want that kind of reality check. Like, how is she surviving? I can't relate. Anyways, so I barely got through university alive, and I can only assume that I did do long-term damage to my health in the process, because, like, what the fuck? Anyway, my point of the actual fucking story, if I could ever manage to get there, is that one time I had no money, like nothing left. Like, you know how you have no money and then you somehow pull money out your fucking ass to like survive another day? You find change, you do nothing. Like, no more overdraft limit, no spare money anywhere, no change, no nothing. Like, literally, I had not a penny, right? For me, an 18-year-old student, like, that shouldn't be the case. Anyway, also, I had this weird thing at uni where I refused to ask my parents for money. They were both in a financial position where, like, if I needed a little handout, they could have 100% given it to me. And, like, my mum at one point did, because I wasn't getting my student loan for, like, another 2 months, and I had to pay, like, a front on my rent, and she covered it for me. And the guilt that I felt from that, like, I'll never recover. Anyway, I refused at university to ask my parents for money. I just couldn't do it. even like £10 to survive another day. I would occasionally ask my mum for money to do circuit laundry, because that would have genuinely made me declare bankruptcy if I didn't. But other than that, I was just really unnecessarily stubborn. Like, she was literally so willing to help me, and I just wouldn't. I don't know, it was like a pride thing, I think, mixed with guilt, I don't know. So I'm there, like, looking death in the face. Like, student loans are not coming in for months yet. I don't have a single penny. I can't employ myself because, like, simply it wasn't possible. Like, I would have ended up dying. And anyway, by the time I would have got my first check, I would have already starved to death. And I fucking found a £20 note that my nanny had given me a few birthdays prior that I had kept in a card. And I had remembered keeping it for like a rainy day, thinking maybe I'll buy myself a new t-shirt. Little did I know it was going to be what I survived off of for 3 weeks. The only sustenance I received was from a vending machine in our building that some days I wouldn't even bother go to because it was such a long walk from my bedroom. And by long, I do mean less than 60 steps. Like, it was basically next to our flat. And I was so depressed, I would rarely even bother to go. But on the days when I did bother to go, bear in mind, it was next to a restaurant, this vending machine, like directly outside a restaurant that had like student uni prices. Like, it was in a uni accommodation building. Like, it was very affordable. Like, mac and cheese was probably like £2. Whereas I was getting like Skittles from the vending machine trying to live another day for probably like £3.50. Like, something was just wrong with me when I was 18. I say wrong, but like, if I was put in uni halls again now, I wouldn't behave any better because there's just something in the air that makes you go fucking insane when you're there. But yeah, I lived off this £20 note for weeks on end, and the only way I genuinely made it through was at this flatmate who would, I remember he had his first kiss, I'm gonna say he had his first kiss whilst we were at uni, and it was like 3 a.m. and we'd been at the club and I got drunk and had gone home like to go to bed probably around like 2 or 3, and he had stayed out. And he never did that. Like, he was never interested in girls or like staying, he didn't really give a fuck about anybody. He would just want to come home and like nap, but he had stayed out, and I was like, interesting. So I'm like laying in bed, I'm like hungover, shaking, it's like 4 a.m, I'm already feeling the hangover, you know what I mean? I hear a knock on my door. I'm like, come in? And I swear I have never been happier to see this little man standing in my doorway with 2 bowls of pasta, yeah, freshly cooked spaghetti. He skips into my bedroom, he sits on the end of my bed, he hands me the spaghetti, and he tells me about his night. And you know what? I don't know if I'd have woken up the next morning if he hadn't done that, because I genuinely don't think my body had the strength to deal with the hangover I had just given it. Like, it's that bowl of spaghetti saved my life. I will stand by that statement. And that is like my only fond memory of university, and I can't even say that it's that fond because again I was on death's doorstep. But is this guy okay? He seems to have broken down. Oh, I would stop, but I actually don't like that guy. Sorry. Reminds me I need to text my friend. Am I a dick? Why did I stop? Oh well. Oh, maybe I should go back. No, I'm not gonna. That's weird. That's just awkward if I turn around. What if he's not even broken down? Maybe he just wanted to take a picture of an animal. Something like that. Actually, do you know what? He's not even a bad guy. I'm just mean. Sometimes I can be really mean for no reason, and I don't even realize I'm being mean until I stop and I think, and I'm like, you say you don't like this person? What's the worst thing they ever fucking did to you? And they've literally done nothing to me. I have no reason to dislike them. Like, I have a minute reason to dislike that guy. he probably doesn't even remember saying the thing that he said, and do you know what, it wasn't even a fucking bad thing, and I'm like driving, fuck him, I'll just let him perish on the side of the road. Heh, that'll show him. For what? I don't miss university, I really don't. You know what's interesting? I was malnourished, like legally malnourished, and I was also the fattest I've ever been. I don't know how that works. I remember one time my mum had come to visit me at uni, which she very rarely did because the place where I was at uni was just inconvenient to get to, right? Like, no one fucking visited me ever. I'm just kidding, my mum did visit, but like, we would go long times without seeing each other in between. So like, if I had a body transformation, like, she wouldn't have known about it, do you know what I mean? So I leave my accommodation block, she's like waiting for me outside, and she borderline lets me walk the fuck past her. Like, I'm like smiling at her and she's not even looking back at me. I'm being ignored by my own mother. The woman from whose loins I just spilled coffee on my crotch. That's just ruined my mood. Just kidding, it hasn't. Anyways, my mother, she lets me like almost walk past her, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, hey. She goes, oh my god, I didn't recognize you, you little tubby thing, because you're almost round. Admittedly, I had gained some weight, but I had intended to do so. The only thing is, at the time, I didn't understand about cholesterol. I just knew I wanted to get thick as shit, because I've always been skinny my whole life, and I've always fucking hated it. Like, it's my least favorite thing about myself. And so I'd gone to uni, and I'd heard this like saying, fresh as 15, and I was like, what is that? My friends were like, oh, it's when people gain 15 pounds during Freshers Week. Or Freshers, like your first year of uni, sorry. You gain 15 pounds during your first year of uni because you eat like shit and you don't exercise. And I was like, oh my god, I want to gain Freshers 15. And everyone was like, are you fucking stupid? Like, no, you don't. I smashed Freshers 15. And previously, it had been like virtually impossible for me to gain weight. Like, I could not fucking gain weight. I go to uni, 15 pounds on like is fucking nothing. In fact, I gained multiple stones, and I thought it was like the best thing ever, and I loved my body, but now I have high cholesterol because I didn't understand about fucking like health. I just thought I was invincible and was like, no, I'm just gonna like drink oil and like consume wine at a rate that is deeply concerning for my mental and physical well-being, because it's like high in calories, so it's gonna work, right? Like, it's gonna help me gain the weight that I want to gain. Like, yeah, it did, and now your cholesterol is 5.5, you stupid fucking bitch, and you're 22. So I don't know what you think you've really achieved. Anyways, it's genuinely astounding to me that I managed to gain that weight, and the only logical explanation I can give, because I was not consuming solid food, like I didn't eat, is the £1.50 Aldi wine. It must have been that, but woohoo! I'm driving so quick right now. It's such a lot. I'm doing 40. It's the fastest this car can go. Do you know what? I might just end the vlog here, because this has been a fun little drive with me. I really like having you guys in my car. It brightens my mood. I'm really excited to go give my dog her shit too. £50 down the drain.